Hello everyone, this is Cynthia Du, Vice President of Cocos. It's been my honor to attend Huawei HDC and share some updates with game developers and how we are working with HMS directly to help launch apps on the Huawei AppGallery. I think for those game developers who have been working in the game industry for a long time, you must have heard of Cocos. Cocos is a 100% free open source game engine, which helped many earlier game developers build games for the mobile game market. Cocos founder Wowzer and Shun have worked with mobile operational system companies for many years before they're starting Cocos. So they use their knowledge of the operating system framework and build the most famous open source engine in mobile development, called Cocos 2DX. As one of the most efficient and powerful game engines back in 2010, we operated 90% of the Chinese market, and today we have 1.4 million game developers using our engine. And among those, 40% are from overseas and 60% are from China. We're very proud during the past 10 years to witness the gradual growth of our engine with the support of many game developers. Each year, there are many companies using Cocos game engine for part of our framework to build brilliant games, including New Words with Friends, 8-Ball Pool, Clash of Kings, Idol Hero, FK Arena, and more. Over the years, we have seen game content becoming much more diverse with many complex assets and games that can be played on multi-platforms, including both native and web environments. We understand a simple framework for sure won't satisfy our developers' needs anymore. We need to help developers to simplify not only the process of the game creation, but also the packaging and publishing platform adaptations. So mobile developers don't need to rewrite the games if they want to export to instant game platforms like WeChat mini games, Facebook instant game, and other platforms as well. As we have seen the development of fundamental infrastructure the content of mini games, HTML5 games, and native games have become much more similar. I've seen many native games developers now are all trying to rewrite their games to running on minigame platforms, and many HTML5 game developers are launching native apps. We want to make developers' life easier by providing an editor that on top of our framework with a great workflow to hasten the development speed and meanwhile can support both web and native environment perfectly, and also build up a better ecosystem. So developers can acquire users and monetize with better experience. As a result, we came out with a new engine called Cocos Creator, which is much more focused on the editor and adaptation for different platforms. So this is a glimpse of our editor. Inside of the dashboard, you can edit your game assets and export to many different platforms. We can export to over 17 platforms and adding more to help out not only native game developers, but HTML5 game developers as well. We are also building up our support for third-party services in our ecosystem, like Huawei HMS, Asset Store, cloud services, and more. So developers can build, debug, test, and release all on our editor together. For mobile developers, we are all facing a problem, which is how we can get players' attention. Different from the early stage, any okay quality games, if they publish on the app market, can get millions of downloads. Nowadays, players are much harder to be pleased and need much more visual attractions to get them interested. So 3D game rising is definitely a proof of that. To help developers to generate 3D games with a shorter development period, we are now providing our Cocos Creator 3.0 to all game developers for free in October. Like Cocos 2DX, Cocos Creator is a 100% open source game engine. You can find and edit our script engine and native engine on GitHub. You can customize any part of the engine to fit your own needs. And we have even seen some developers build their 3D engine based on our 2D framework, way ahead of us. After setting up the engine using the editor, it will build a game package based on our own customized engine. You can literally customize everything in your engine package for any platform. We believe our developers can make incredible games with their imagination in our engine. Cocos Creator supports developers to publish on cross-platforms like AppGallery, Google Play, App Store, web browser, and almost all instant gaming platforms, including Huawei Quick Game, TikTok Minigame, WeChat Minigame, and many more. How is this achieved? We first use different rendering backend implementations to support them. For web and instant gaming platform, we use WebGL graphics APIs that are used on current browser. On native platforms, we're using Vulkan for Android devices and Metal for Apple devices. Then the rendering backend provide a unified graphic APIs to the upper level engine. As you can see from the slide, higher level APIs are provided by engine modules such as scene graphs, assets, components, and etc. With Cocos Creator, you can create your game with one code base and publish to both native and web-based mobile platforms quickly. Our mission has always been to simplify game creation. Here are some examples we want to reflect in our engine. Take our editor as an example. We have cooperated with many huge game developers, our VIP clients. To accomplish their requirements, we have to keep optimizing our editor to become much more user-friendly and much easier workflows. Take our Metal editor as an example. Before, if you want to design materials, it normally involves a lot of communication between artists and programmers, discussing what kind of lights, shadow are needed. Now developers can do the coding based on the effects inspector, and artists can see the configuration directly and select what kind of effects they want. So both of them can focus on their own part and be more efficient. We also have a preview camera that allows you to view your game directly inside of our engine, so developers don't need to export to see the final result. With a simple drag and pull, they can see the game view directly inside of the engine. At the same time of improving usability, we are investing and enriching new technologies too. For example, this is a programming-generated vegetation based on predefined areas and curves. In this video, all objects are automatically generated, including the trees, grass, and the road. With our editor's plugin system, it is possible to create such complex system upon it. Developers only define the road with the curves and the vegetation area with the curve area. Of course, the vegetation generation will automatically avoid the road. A second example is in the ocean effect in this video. The waves of the water surface and the foam at the contact area are all dynamic. You can also see visually how profound all the objects are in the water. We're using multiple passes rendering and depth buffer to achieve this beautiful ocean rendering example. The interesting thing is all of these examples you see here can be exported to all of our supported platforms, including minigames, HTML5s, native, and maybe some AR devices later on. As we are trying to build the graphic rendering to be as light as possible, Cocos Creator 3.0 uses more GPU computing capacity to improve the performance. For example, our skeleton animation is running with GPU skinning calculation. Modules and animation can also be merged into one draw call with GPU instancing. Here, as example, 1,000 instances running at 30 FPS on a low-end device. Our particle system is also using the GPU to run the simulation. The left side video is running the particle system of the CPU, and the FPS drop very rapidly, while the 1000 GPU particle system can run at 48 FPS. So both GPU skeleton animation and GPU particle systems support all platforms, including older backends. For the calculation that can't be run on GPU, we are using flow testers on the most backends, but on OpenGL-ES. The feature is not available yet, so we packed floats into RGBA8 textures. Then we can extract the data to process from the tester in shader. So how are we cooperating with Huawei HMS Kit? As you can see from the graphic, this year we have embedded many cool HMS kits inside of our engine, including CG Kit and AR Engine. I can't review technical details too much at this current stage, but I can show you an example. So this is a recording we did on a Huawei P30 device. We can use the camera system and scan the real scenario to build up a game battlefield. The system will automatically set up the direction and needed space. Then a 3D battlefield will be built. We built this demo within 1 month by using Cocos Creator 3.0. I believe with our developers' idea and creativity, you can build something much more interesting. Hopefully, by the end of this year, we can open this ability to all game developers with Huawei together. So besides this, we are also implementing account game services, push in-app purchase, and ad kits inside our engine to help our developers to upload their games on Huawei AppGallery immediately. Now, when you export your game and you choose SDK hub configuration and implemented those SDK with just one click. And choose Auth or API to upload your game package to Huawei AppGallery directly. We all have known this year is an interesting year for gaming, as everyone is doing social distancing. Not many films or entertainment shows can be made. So it seems games have become certainly something that is grabbing everybody's attention and keep their interest. As third-party reports have shown that the mobile gaming industry is growing much faster this year on both user base and in-app purchases. Therefore, many more developers will be flooding in this field, and the competition of buying user will become much more fierce. New platforms will never be perfect, but it for sure can bring some new opportunities for developers. To encourage developers to upload more good quality content, Huawei will provide 85% of the rev share for developers and a much better percentage than normal app market. We have integrated HMS Kit 2 weeks ago inside our engine and have already seen almost 200 game developers integrated these kits and have published their games overseas, especially for those IAP game clients. Considering the comparatively high quality user Huawei bring to the ecosystem, it's definitely worth trying. I mean, there is nothing to lose by 2 clicks. 1 click to implement HMS Kit and 1 click to upload to AppGallery. One more thing I want to share is that many developers have asked us why we choose JavaScript and TypeScript as developing languages. As I mentioned in the beginning, we want to simplify game creation. We want to choose a language to make development much easier, and it can support multiple mainstream platforms and some new upcoming platforms as well. So, when we design the engine, we have both platform adapter to support many instant gaming platforms and native adapter for Huawei AppGallery, Android, and iOS. JavaScript and TypeScript is definitely a great option to support both native and web nicely. To power more interest on JavaScript community, we took a part of our engine and generated runtime solution, which has become a unified standard in China and widely used on almost 90% of minigame market. Based on Cocos Runtime solution, which we have worked with many traffic platforms directly, different from purely HTML5, Cocos developers can change games into a small native game package file and run directly within different apps without downloading, including Huawei Quick Game as well. So if you are also thinking about publishing games in China, Cocos will be the easiest engine to start with. We hope our efforts can bring developers to more traffic platforms, help you to acquire more users, and create much more interesting and innovative content. We are honored to work with Huawei and excited to see what can be built in the future together. If you have questions about how to upload your game to AppGallery, implement HMS Core, or about Cocos Creator 3.0, feel free to let us know. These are some ways to reach us out. And thanks, see you next time.